What is the biggest mistake single member LLC or multiple member LLC make? What is the most essential tip or piece of advice you would give them?
The first one is forming a C-corp before you're ready. C-corps are expensive and time consuming and confusing for most people. So starting one just kind of flippantly is not for the faint of heart. Now, if you just got into an accelerator and or you got an investment from a venture capital firm and they're, going to wire you $1 million or something, then yes, go ahead, get a C-corp, knock yourself out. Right. But owning a C-corp can often be more trouble than it's worth, especially with the payroll implications for international founders. So I would just say, unless you really know what you're getting into, an LLC is going to be more simple for most businesses. And sometimes people come to me with a C-corp and I'll be like, why did you choose a C-corp? And they'll be like, I don't know. There was just two options. So I just picked the C-corp. And I'll be like, oh, that decision cost you like $2,000. The second one that comes to mind is the one I already mentioned earlier, which is having 5 or 10 different accounts. I mean, the thing is, if you have all 5 of the accounts, you have Payoneer, you have PayPal, you have 2 bank accounts, you're using your personal credit card. I mean, when you try to report your taxes, it's just like, if you came to me with that and you said, oh, Max, can you help me with this? I would say, look, I can help you with this, but this is going to take forever. And it's going to be messy and it's going to be more expensive for you. It's going to take more of your time. It's going to take longer to report. People get into the messiest financial situations, right? If you just use 1 bank account or maybe 2 bank accounts, right? That is going to make your life 10 times easier and your accountant's life 10 times easier. And if your accountant's life is 10 times easier, that means that you're paying half the cost. And then a third one I would say is just not being proactive and waiting too long, because when you let these situations fester, they just get worse and worse. And when you show up to an accountant on April 11th and you're like, okay, taxes are due in 4 days. I have all these transactions, back from January of last year, like 16 months ago, I have these transactions from my personal card, but I can't remember what they were. And can you help me? It's just like, when people come to you and they haven't thought about it in a really long time and the accounts are everywhere, it's so hard to help. Letting it fester and not being proactive about making sure that you at least have some sort of structure to your accounts and going to get your taxes done late is just always going to cause problems. And it's going to be more expensive. It's going to take more time and it's going to be a big headache. Having a foreign company as a subsidiary of a US company without understanding the implications. Like if you've gotten advice from a lawyer and you're setting it up the right way and you're doing all the paperwork and you have money to pay an accountant to do it all right for you, it's a great strategy. It can totally work. It makes a lot of sense sometimes. What I specifically mean is having like a US C-corp, for example, that owns another company that's like an Italian company or an Indian company or a Mexican company or something like that. That is a situation that is really can be very complicated. And I just wouldn't do that unless you have really put the necessary time and effort into doing it right. Because sometimes I'll just see people just forming those kind of randomly without understanding that they're going to have additional reporting and it can turn into a mess. So don't do that unless you've really thought about it and talked to a lawyer and you're going to do it right and you have the money to do it.